All right, we're giving you winners and losers from round one of the NFL draft. I'm Chris Hassel, joined by Jamey Eisenberg and Pete Prisco. Pete, give us your winner to start off.
Well, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. And the reason I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings, they had the 14th pick, and the Jets went up and traded up and gave them 2 third-round picks, and they moved down to 23 and ended up with a guy I think they might have picked at 14 in Christian Darrisaw. I think it's a great move by the Vikings. Darrisaw, to me, and I'm saying it time and again, but I think he might end up being the best offensive tackle in this class. They needed a left tackle. They get 2 third-round picks to move down and still get one of the best in the class. I think the Vikings had a great day today.
Darrisaw did not allow a sack.
You know that.
Last year that he played.
Yes.
Right? Outstanding. Jamey Eisenberg, you're going to go into a little different aspect of winners and losers. You're going to look at it as a player from a fantasy perspective.
And there are a lot of good ones, Chris. You could say Kyle Pitts, you could say Jamar Chase, you could say Devontae Smith going to Philadelphia, but I'm going to go to running back. Najee Harris going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Love the setup for him there because as we've seen with Mike Tomlin, when he has a guy, he leans on that guy. It was Le'Veon Bell. When Bell wasn't there, it was D'Angelo Williams, James Conner, and now Harris is going to be that guy. And so I think he's going to address a big need for them. They have to fix the offensive line. That's still something that the draft has to unfold for them. But looking at what Harris's role could be, he has the ability to be a #1 fantasy running back. Draft him as a #2 guy. He'll probably go in the round 3 range, but just love the setup for him coming from Alabama, going to Pittsburgh. He's going to be a workhorse. We love those type of runners.
Quite a bit of separation between he and Travis Etienne, in your opinion?
It's closer in PPR. We'll talk about Etienne in a second, but I think Harris is the clear winner at that position so far.
Okay, Pete, how about your loser from day one?
It's got to be the Las Vegas Raiders. I think when you look at the tackle situation and they took Alex Leatherwood at 17, that's way too high. Most guys, including myself, had a second-round grade on him. A lot of guys thought he might be a player who could slide inside the guard. Now, they need help all across the offensive line. I just think they overdrafted him, and they've done that before. Remember, they drafted Clelin Ferrell, #4, a couple years ago, and in that same draft, I know this for a fact, there were guys that wanted them to take, in that room, that wanted them to take Devin White. And they didn't. They passed on him and took Clelin Ferrell. So overdrafted, I think, Alex Leatherwood. They had better options there if you wanted to tackle.
Had a lot of options on defense as well because they need defensive help at every single level, but they do go offense and Alex Leatherwood. All right, Jamey, who's your loser?
So it's not a guy who was drafted. It's a player who impacted a veteran, and that's James Robinson is probably the biggest loser from a fantasy perspective because Travis Etienne comes in, and I know Urban Meyer said third down back. I'm not buying it. I don't think that they got a first-round pick to use him as a third down back. Now he's going to play on third downs, but Travis Etienne is the guy sitting next to me. Pete Prisco will like to say he's an airback. He's a guy that could do it all. He's going to get comparisons to Alvin Kamara, has the ability to catch the ball, obviously has the ability to do things in space, but Robinson was good last year. He was one of the best finds for fantasy managers. Kudos to Pete Prisco for pointing it out before the season started that he was going to be the guy for Jacksonville when they moved on from Leonard Fournette, and he was awesome. But he's not a difference maker. Travis Etienne's a difference maker. So James Robinson was a guy that you were looking at maybe as a round 2 pick. Now he's going to be a guy closer to the double-digit rounds. He's still going to have an opportunity to make an impact for Jacksonville, impact for fantasy managers, but Travis Etienne is going to be the star of that backfield. He makes James Robinson, unfortunately, a loser.
All right, we've got the Fantasy Football Today watch party coming up at 6:30 p.m. for the second and third rounds of the NFL Draft. We'll again have the watch party on Saturday. We continue our coverage here on the YouTube page, the Fantasy Football Today YouTube page at 6:30. Brady Quinn, Danny Cannell. We've got guys in Cleveland as well. Ryan Wilson, Bryant McFadden, Jonathan Jones, and many, many more. Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.